A question that I get asked a lot in my practice is, Sim, how do I discern between the voice of the mind and the voice of the heart? How do I know if it's my gut talking to me, if it's my intuition, or if I'm just imagining things? So today I'm going to jump right in and I'm going to share how we can begin to cultivate this space of living from our hearts and being able to attune into our heart and the voice of our heart, and to understand when is it our mind and when is it our heart. So we have to understand that the mind is primarily concerned with survival, okay? And not in a bad way, but it wants to keep us safe, you know? It wants to be able to manage the unpredictability that is life. It wants to be able to have a sense of control over those oscillations of life, you know, of the unknown. And the way that it does that is it accesses its huge database of information that it has based on our personal experience or based on the experience of others that we may have heard, who may have shared their experiences with us. And as we move through life, particularly when we have to make pivotal decisions or big decisions in our life, we may often find ourselves stuck between these two voices that are seemingly at complete odds with one another. One that wants expansion and freedom and to take the exciting path, the path less trodden, where there are no signposts and markers letting you know where you're going. And the other path may want you to stay in the safe lane, the lane that has all the markings, all the signage, has the lampposts, it's a well-lit path. Neither is good or bad. I just want to make sure people understand that neither is good or bad. The problem happens is when we live from the mind and we start to live a very small and narrow life because we allow fear to control us. Fear is a constrictive, restricted energy, okay? And when we start living our lives from fear, we block ourselves to the infinite possibilities that life has, the infinite possibilities that life has in store for us, the magic of being alive. You know, essentially we may start to die while we're still alive because we allow fear to dictate all of our choices. Maybe we don't go after those dreams that our soul has for us, you know, what it came here, what it wanted to experience. So the mind, survival, lack, fear, competition, okay? The mind often doesn't understand that abundance is a state of being, and it operates in a space of lack and scarcity, which means that there are less resources, less opportunities, less safety, more threats. It doesn't work on the wisdom of the heart, which understands that at the level of energy, there is no separation. Abundance is our true nature. If we come into the understanding of wholeness, being whole within ourselves, that means we are not separate from anything at all. We are not separate from love. We are not separate from abundance, whether that is spiritual, whether that is emotional, whether that is material. We already have it all within us, within our field. The heart will feel often expansive. You may also get sensations or feelings of excitement. Sometimes we mistake excitement and anticipation for anxiety, so we have to also start being really coherent with our emotions, being able to discern the energy. Is the energy actually anxiety from fear, or is it that anxious energy that is actually your excitement? That even though this thing is unknown, it's exciting for me, and the anticipation of what will happen. Okay? Most of us block ourselves to the magic of life because we allow our past experiences or our past hurts or our past betrayals or grievances or things not working out for us in the way that we hoped or wanted them to. We allow those past experiences to determine our present. But the present is where the magic is, because the present moment is actually always the gateway to your intuition. It is the gateway to you being able to have communication from your higher self, from your soul, which will come through the heart to you. And it will not be, the heart's way is usually not loud and clamoring. It's not always yelling for attention. It can usually be just a gentle nudge. You know, a gentle nudge. Do I want this? And it'll just be a small impulse. So one of the best ways that I have found for people to really be able to put this into practice is to cultivate a daily practice, 3 to 5 minutes of creating space. We live in a time where we are overstimulated. We are bombarded with information from every angle. We do not have space to process more information, let alone to hear the voice of our soul. Even though our soul is always trying to communicate with us, our higher self is always there trying to get our attention. So one thing I would always suggest is start to practice just a small practice of 3 to 5 minutes of self-communion, of sitting with yourself, of creating space. And one of the best, most simplest, easiest ways to create space is to try and practice breath work. If you feel safe, if you feel you're able to, try and cultivate a simple breathwork practice. It can be as simple as 3 deep inhalations with a hold and an exhalation. Try and inculcate that, because when we create space, we allow ourselves to experience our internal reality and to know, okay, what is rising up in me? Is it fear? Is my heart actually wanting to take me this way? Because I'm ready for an expansion. I'm ready to evolve. An expansion, by the way, please understand, expansion doesn't mean that it won't come with its own challenges, which are actually opportunities in disguise. Growth isn't easy. Okay, evolving isn't easy. It requires us to take risks. It requires us to surrender to the unknown. It requires us to strip ourselves bare and face our fears, and to come out on the other side victorious and realize that most of the times they were just stories and narrations of our mind to keep ourselves safe. So please, whenever you can, whatever you're doing, if you're in the car commuting, if you're sitting at your desk at work, if you're just sitting in front of the TV, you can just start there as you are where you are. You do not have to do anything special. Place one hand on the heart and just allow yourself to breathe. It can be as simple as you just feeling the movement of your palm on your chest and you breathe up and down. Begin to create that space. And also another nice thing is to do a life review, do a life inventory, and look back on your life. And I am sure there will be some example where you took that risk, where you followed that impulse, where you followed that pulling with no reason, no justification, no logic, no explanation. You didn't have all the answers as to why you wanted to do that thing or go to that place or whatever it is that you wanted to experience, but you did, and something beautiful came out of it. And make a note of that. Make a note of that so that your mind has that proof for itself. So it can be like, okay, it is safe. Life didn't fall apart. I didn't crumble. I didn't collapse. And please, if you have experiences, share them, drop them in the comments. It's really helpful for people. You know, I really find that it is really helpful for us to hear that we usually all have the same struggles in one way or another. We have similar fears. So when we hear stories of other people who have had those same fears and then have transcended that fear, or who have faced that fear, or who have followed their heart, have taken that risk and have completely transformed their life, it inspires us. It connects us to that part in ourselves that is longing for that transformation, that is ready to take that risk. So if you feel called to, and if you ever stumble upon this video, please do share. It does help. It does help. I know it helps. I have read people's comments over the last decade on YouTube that have helped me. And I know many people would say the same. So yeah, if you feel called, please do share anything. It's for all of us. All my love to you, and I hope this resonates wherever you are on your journey.